You are listening to the Photographic Podcast. Your hosts are Jay, Justin, Mike, and Valentine. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome to the
Hi.
podcast.
So, how was everybody's week?
Doing pretty good. I actually have a story I'll share with you. So, I got this bag of camera gear. I traded an older acoustic that I had, and this guy literally put like 3 lenses, 2 camera bodies into this bag, and it had a 2x magnifier in with it as well. Anyway, threw it
Nice.
into an HEB bag, and I traded it for it in a parking lot in Cleveland, Texas. Anyway, so I
Not
get it
shady
home.
at all.
No, I get it home and I set it up in my room here, and I don't know. It took me probably, I want to say like 4 hours to clean all the just dirt and dust and grime and everything that those things had accumulated over their lifespans. And I did all of that. I got everything cleaned up. I put it away for the night, and I left my bedroom door open. And I have dogs who never chew on anything.
Uh-oh.
And one of them came into my room and picked up my package of like precision screwdrivers that I have,
No.
destroyed them, and then decided that that wasn't enough and picked the scissors up off the table, destroyed it, and then picked up my lens cleaning pen, destroyed that. In the process, knocked over a little thing of Q-tips that I had sitting on the desk.
Mm-hmm.
Knocked that over, ate all the Q-tips. Must have been like 20 Q-tips in there.
Well, I mean,
like,
for your massive fucking dogs, like, that was probably like 2 or 3 bites per thing. Like, just chomp chomp and they're gone.
yeah.
Now,
So
did you catch him in the act, or was he
No.
already gone?
no, it was the damage had been done. So I had gone to bed about 1:30 in the morning after I was up, cleaning and conditioning everything. And so, and my wife gets up. This was a Friday night, so my wife gets up at like 4:30, 4:45 in the morning to go to work on Saturday morning. So she had gotten up, and the dogs were where they would normally are. So we didn't think anything of it. And so she came out to get her shoes to get ready to leave for work and passed by my room, and it was just chaos in the floor. So sometime between around 2 a.m. and 4:45, he had come in here and stole them off the top of the table. And so he doesn't have to jump up on anything to get anything off the tabletop because he's literally like almost 4 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
So
Big fucking dog.
he just walks over, takes what he wants off the table, and doesn't disturb anything else. It's all still there. So, yeah. I just thought I would share that. So, if you have cleaning supplies or tools and things like that, and you have pets, you might want to put them away. I didn't have any. If he had gotten into the spray bottles, because I had acetone and like Gooby Gone and alcohol and super glue sitting up on the desk as well, and he didn't take any of that stuff.
Monster.
He just took the screwdrivers and scissors and my lens cleaning pen. It's just made a mess.
That's
of it.
awful.
But I went through and double checked to make sure he didn't eat the metal ends off of the screwdriver handles, because I'd gone through and counted them because I was worried about him having swallowed those.
Mm-hmm.
And no, you can't do anything once they've chewed it up. If it's after the fact and it's been hours and it's already done and gone, it's already a whole new situation. You can't punish them for that. What are they going to learn? They like to hit them in the bedroom. It's not going to do anybody any good. So, yeah, they weren't super expensive, so I just went and replaced everything. I got everything back. I was out like $20, I think, but it was just the stuff had been sitting there for so long. Everything had been there for like a week or longer, and he hadn't touched anything. And then the minute that I use it, he comes in here and destroys everything.
Plots. It's a plot.
Yeah, he was waiting for me to use them. It's like, yeah, now I know he's going to use them. Now I'm going to eat them.
Damn.
Yeah. So,
well,
I thought that was kind of funny because we had just talked not that long ago about how my dogs don't chew anything because normally they don't. And then here we are.
You jinxed it. It.
That's what I get.
There you go. That's what happened.
But yeah,
Who's got another story?
in that kit of things that I'd gotten was a Minolta. What was it, Jaleesa?
Minolta, a Rebel G.
No, the Minolta. What model was that?
Oh, 7,000
Oh
Maxim.
yeah, the Maxim 7000 is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting.
And a Rebel G, which uses my lenses and stuff to work on the rest of my Canon gear.
That one's pretty cool.
And yeah, it is actually pretty good. I was whenever I picked that one up, I wasn't sure if it was going to be, because you know you read the reviews on it and it's like, oh, it's a Canon's entry level film camera,
Mm-hmm.
but it actually has a lot more on there than I thought that it would, especially given that, like, you see here that I have all these like older cameras there, and then you get something like something that's a little bit more modern.
Mhm.
You know, like, oh, this is probably just going to be like just trash, but it's actually pretty cool. The autofocus works on it really well. It has like
Excellent.
this autofocus assist light on it for low light autofocusing, and it's got what's funny is it's only got 3 autofocus points, and it's like in a straight line across the center of the sensor. So
Yes, where all the things that I want to focus on are always in the exact center of the frame.
Mm-hmm. Never.
yeah, because I think like this camera here, the T7i that I have right there, has like 40 something, 42, I want to say. Like, don't quote me on it, but it's some number like that.
Mhm.
And then this dude has 3.
Mm-hmm. Mine has 11
I
on my Nikon.
I rented the R5 and it's got like a billion.
Oh
It's
yeah.
the whole frame in the viewfinder and on the back of the screen. All of it is a live focusing point. It's
Right.
I
You know,
want that
that's-
camera so bad.
That's
Do you
what
want to share
we
with
need to
the
hear.
you want to share with the individuals out there of how you're able to get your camera gear at such an amazing deal? Or we're gonna keep that hush hush.
Facebook
Who got an
Marketplace.
amazing deal?
Huh, Justin?
Oh,
Oh,
huh.
I mean you and Jalissa, or unless you
I
do
mean-
too, Michael.
We I rented from Aperture Rent.
Oh.
You can find my referral link in the description box, or Jalissa's, or I'll put everybody's referral link in there. Please rent with our referral link. Go to Aperture Rent. They're local in Addison. They're super awesome. Last week when we were snowed in and everything, they gave me a free extra week of rental for the R5. And when I couldn't return it on the weekend because I had to pick up extra hours, they're like, don't worry about it. We're closed. It's free. Just pay for Monday. And I paid an extra like $15 for an extra day so I could turn it in.
Mhm.
They were awesome. I love using
Nice.
them.
That's a good
Yeah.
And
experience.
I really want that R5. It was like, I'm glad that I rented it, but I'm really upset that I rented it because
Yeah,
I don't have $4,000 to get a camera body.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't have it. Not even on credit. I don't have it. I can't afford it, but I want that camera so damn bad. It's so
So-
beautiful.
So tell them what happened to your EOS R.
Yes. So to record these videos, normally, or at least my part of this little celebrity square thing that we got going on here, I have my camera on the battery grip, the BGE22 Canon's EOS R battery grip. I usually keep my camera on it, and I keep 2 batteries in it. And so I was charging it the other day, and put the camera on the battery grip while it was charging, and I turned that shit on, and it went blank. And now it doesn't turn on. And yeah, blew a fuse in my shiny EOS R.
It wasn't aftermarket battery either, was it?
Nope. All Canon brand. I don't buy any aftermarket parts except for like a lens or something, but those are manual focus, so there's no electronic usage. So
You hear
Mhm.
that out there? Nobody use aftermarket products.
yeah, please
I
don't
use
use.
aftermarket products.
If you're gonna use an aftermarket product, do lenses or something. Lenses aren't gonna fry any fuses in your camera because they don't they don't provide power, they just use power. So
Mhm.
they're not going to do anything funky. But anything that provides power to your camera, don't buy off brands. Buy the brand name. It'll save you time and effort in the long run, especially if you're trying to get a repair done within warranty. If you use aftermarket parts, you're voiding your warranty. Don't do it. Unfortunately for me,
Don't tell them.
unfortunately for me, my shit was out of warranty anyways, so I got to pay $400 to get my camera fixed.
Ooh,
So did
bless your
they
heart.
end up confirming that that's exactly what happened?
No, I sent it off today, so Monday or Tuesday next week I'll find out.
Right.
Speaking of
Which-
aftermarket, lenses, the Samyang 85.
Or
Really
the
like something I've seen a lot.
Yongnu ones. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but there's a Yongnu brand or something like that. They make some pretty good ones. Lens Baby makes good lenses.
Lens baby.
Yeah, they make the funky ones. Like they've already got a filter effect on the lens itself.
Ew.
They do like a dreamy effect or like fractal effects. They do like more
Fancy.
optically imperfect lenses, but like purposely imperfect lenses. So they're pretty cool.
Nice.
Fun lenses.
Mhm.
And are those? 'Cause I know the Samyang is like only manual,
Mhm.
manual focus. Is the same thing goes for these other ones as well?
Some
Usually
of
the
the lens
cheaper ones
babies.
are.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, even the really expensive ones. Zeiss doesn't have autofocus. It's all manual focus.
Which one?
Most of their high-end lenses are manual focus.
Are they like cinema or something?
No. Like the Zeiss planar and the sonar for Canon are autofocus. I mean, manual focus.
Uh-oh. Somebody's rowdy.
Yeah.
So when it comes, so I mean, do y'all use manual focus whenever y'all shoot?
Sometimes.
I'm
Depends,
lazy.
yeah.
I'm lazy with it.
Me too. But
I think it's
can
really
use
one
it.
of those
Yeah.
things
Sometimes.
where I know the model's gonna be still. Kind of when we're doing those TFPs, you don't really have that chance where you're like, okay, hey, I need you not to move for like the next, I don't know, 20 seconds as I
Sure.
bring the shutter speed down to like freaking 0.5 or something.
Damn.
Nah, you don't need to do that with
Yeah, that's
manual
real.
focus.
Well,
Just
I mean, at midday, I'm trying to like shoot at like, so if I do like a full body portrait, I
Mhm.
like to shoot like at least 4.5.
Sure.
Right.
But given the light times, especially here in Texas, I mean, it gets dark real quick. So, especially those, we've had like those weird timings of TFPs where it gets dark. So you don't really, you're trying to get all these pictures in, but light's not in favor. ISO, especially with my camera, is not good. So, you try to make the best out of it. So I'm like, lower shutter speed, but then you get blurry stuff, and then you're like, I need to now lie and say this is what I was trying to do the whole time. Yay.
I get
Yeah.
what you're saying. The crop sensor Canon cameras aren't really the best with autofocus and lower light. I have struggled with that quite a bit with the T7. I don't have the same kind of issues with the 5D, but even though it's a little bit older, it still has its moments where it doesn't really want to like lock focus on something. So
Mhm.
occasionally, if it's dark enough, then I'll still have to switch to manual. So
I do that with the R2. In lower light situations, manual focus is just easier.
What are some tips y'all give out for shooting in manual? Kind of like what, just looking through my viewfinder is not enough. Like I have to use like the live screen to
Mhm.
first make sure I'm like at a good distance. I almost got to the point where I was getting good with focusing, like right where I needed to be, but it's a lot easier. Well, especially for instance, whenever I think the first night I hung out with Val, we went to what's that bar's name?
Proudest.
Green glowy
Proudest.
lights.
Proudest.
Yes,
Proudest.
proudest. And he was like, I'm gonna teach you how to point and shoot. And I was like, okay. So we went out there and he's just like snapping, and I mean no flash at all. So here I am trying to do the exact same thing with a 51.8, and because it's 1.8, it helps. However, can't like you said with the Canon, it's hard
Razor
to
thin.
get a good focus. Yep. So He was like, no, just switch to manual. And I'm like, how am I gonna get this to work? So it's kind of tricky. So what would y'all say? How do
Um,
I practice on this?
I have a couple suggestions. It's not on every single lens, but some lenses around the focus ring, there's actually a distance meter that you can see. It will change and move around. If your lens happens to have that, you can set it at a specific distance, and then everything within that distance is in focus. So you can do what's called zone focusing. You can block that off into zones, and as long as you have a good depth perception, you can know that within like 2 to 5 feet, everything is going to be in focus. So in that 3 foot section, everything is hyper focused in focus. You can just pull your camera up, hit the shutter button, and move on, and you know that you've got it instead of having to rely on your autofocus. Otherwise, on the live view, I don't know if it's true for crop sensor cameras, but at least on my EOS R, if I'm manually focusing, it will tell me that distance. It'll have a live readout on the screen or in the viewfinder. It doesn't on crop sensor cameras.
No, not T7 and older.
Well, I mean, it might do it on the live view, maybe.
No, I don't get
Oh.
I don't get a distance readout on that.
There might be something in the menu section. I don't know. You can.
My Tamron, or no, the was it Canon? What's the freaking one that I use from now on? I'm so bad with this now. It's my
Your
24
SL2.
75.
Mhm.
No, the lens I have, 24
Oh, you're talking about
75.
the
It has
lens,
that
yeah.
distance thing. So I was like,
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
like today's year old realizing, oh wait, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do notice that on the kit lenses for that come with the crop sensor Canons,
hmm
they don't really have that. You might be able to buy one that does, but the 50 millimeter doesn't. The 18 to 55 does not, and the 75 to 300 does not.
hmm
Mm-hmm. I don't know if y'all can see this, but you see all the numbers on the side of this lens right here. For those that are listening, I just picked up a lens and put it in front of the camera. It's a manual focus lens, but there are numbers highlighted on the side so that when you're focusing, you can actually know how far away it is. Most manual focus lenses will have that feature on the lens because you got to know your distances. Most of the time it's in meters, but some lenses will do a meter and foot ratio on it. The other cool thing is when you are looking at those, whatever you happen to be on, sometimes it will have two numbers and two lines. If you look closely, it'll tell you everything that is supposed to be in focus on either end of that. So if you put it at if you change your aperture to f8, it will tell you at f4 and f11 everything is in hyperfocus between those two with f8. So
Yeah.
within a certain distance. So just look at your lenses and see what kind of information you can see on those, and then use that. If not, if you've got a modern day lens made for digital cameras or mirrorless cameras, at some feature on your camera should be able to tell you the distance that it is focusing back and forth somewhere on the camera. Yeah.
I have to look and see on
I've learned
mine.
so much today now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an app called Photo Pills that I use for like trying to find good spots for astrophotography as well.
Mhm.
But it also has like depth of field tables
Mhm.
and things like that that will help you find what your focus distance is if you don't have the ability to get those readouts, especially in low light situations.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's tons of
there might be
different
some
apps.
more. Yeah, I was gonna say there could be some other free apps out there that I don't know about. I paid like $10 for Photo Pills, but it does like an augmented reality placement of the sun, placement of the moon, placement of the Milky Way, and it adjusts with the time of day and seasons and everything. So it's pretty accurate. I use that quite a bit, but like I said, it also gives you like focus distance, depth of field tables, and there's a bunch of other really nifty tools in that particular app, and I use it quite often.
Mm-hmm. In the light meter app that I use for film photography, it's got a depth of field calculator, so you can, if you can walk off the distance, so that you know how far away it is from where you happen to be standing because you're trying to compose a shot. You can put in all the parameters into the depth of field calculator, and it'll tell you um, your focus distance.
Yeah.
That'll help you as well. And then there's also a magnifying feature on your camera, especially in live view. You can zoom in and micro focus. I know Sony users use their micro focusing. I think there's like a back button focus on their cameras where you press a button and it'll zoom in to a specific point on the camera or in the field of view of whatever you're taking a photo of, and you can micro adjust your focus to make sure that everything's like super laser focused.
Yeah. If you set the button up.
that comment makes me feel like somebody didn't.
No, I have it set up for at least like if I have a manual lens on and I hit the button, then it helps for that. But I don't really use it on too much on autofocus. I can manual focus. I'm just lazy. If I have to manual focus, I'll do it. But
yeah, like for the most part, if I'm running my DSLR, I don't really want to manual focus. I mean, that's one of the benefits of having that feature is to be able to take advantage of it to make your life a little bit easier. So I want to autofocus as much as possible, but there's just certain types of lighting conditions where it doesn't allow for that to be as easy. So it's good to know how to manually focus. It's good to know what your depth of fields are, and it's good to know how to utilize the tools that are on it, because it's kind of cool, especially now that when Justin was showing that lens just a minute ago, especially now for me, like I didn't consider that as being a critical bit of information I needed to know whenever I was learning photography in the beginning, because the DSLR does so much work for you that you really kind of take for granted how much it's doing.
Yep.
Then you go back to use some of these like older film cameras, and then you don't have the option of autofocus. You have to manually focus everything. So and all of those lenses that I have, I mean, I've got what, 1, 2, 7 old camera lenses around me right now, and every single one of them has meters and feet, at what distance everything is expected to be in focus. It's just nice that they give you all the tools right there to be able to figure those things out.
Yep.
And I never thought to use something like that as like the way that I'm doing it, because I mean, shit, you've got a DSLR and all this technology in your hand, and you just hit a button and it goes, that's focus. We're good.
Yep.
Yeah. And now, at least with like some digital cameras with my EOS R and the R5 that I was using, you can touch the screen while you're half pressing, and you can move the autofocus point to wherever you want on the screen and in frame. Yeah, I know. Like that is, I mean, it's super cool, but like it's also super. I hate to say this word. I don't mean it, but like it's lazy.
I was gonna say, lazy? Is that lazy for 500?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. My 5D has a similar feature that runs off of a stick.
Yeah.
So it's like a pro level feature that's kind of nice. If like I want to make sure that I'm getting the eye in here, so I'm going to move my focus point there to move it.
Yeah, it's super cool, and that takes away some of the things that we have to do as a photographer to get our photo the way we want it to look. Like it's a useful tool. That's it. It's a useful tool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to say it makes anybody lazy, but
no, because you actually have to apply like your intention to that. So it's not like it's not going all the way in and making you like forcing you to figure out what that fine-tuned focus is, but it's actually, you have to think about like where you wanted that focus point to be and what's the most important thing in that shot to be focused. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think that's a little more like I said, it's a pro level camera feature for a reason. I think if you're just doing landscapes and things like that, you don't necessarily need stuff, but when you're doing weddings, portraits, and macro photography and some of these other things where depth of field and certain things in focus and not is a little bit more important to the vision. Yeah, that's a super cool feature to have because it kind of takes some of that strain off of whether or not you're going to nail that shot more often.
I wish I could have it on film cameras, but
I know, right? That's what I'm saying.
No,
shit
you
is
just
hard.
you just get your center focus, and right in the middle, whatever the
Or
hell.
3, you got one in the middle and one on either side.
Hey,
This one has
Mamma Mia
one.
doesn't even have that much.
Yeah, no, it's just whatever the fuck.
Right,
Figure it
yeah.
out.
And I got bad eyesight. And then looking through a magnifying glass, through a ground glass, through a prism, 9 times
Yeah.
out of 10, my shit's out of focus. So, like, I guess I'm just going to start shooting at f16 and then everything's in focus.
Right.
Word.
Where's the art in that?
Hey, Ansel Adams pioneered the high aperture photography.
I hope he also pioneered high aperture portrait photography.
I might have to come back
I
to
was
you on
like,
that
yeah,
one.
I didn't get that joke.
I mean,
For
you
the
never
joke,
know.
like,
I mean,
I don't think that he was necessarily famous for doing a lot of portraits, but that doesn't mean that he wasn't. That the whole committee situation doesn't mean that they didn't agree that that was
yeah,
also
I'm
a
sure that
relevant way to do it.
someone in the F32 club took some portraits,
Right.
and
Yeah.
now I'm gonna find them. Give me a sec.
Well, since we're talking about manual and autofocus, this motherfucker is actually pretty advanced. Actually,
That one mine or the one or yours?
this one's yours.
Oh, I see my tape on the front of it.
Yeah, right there. And I actually need to put some on mine because mine's kind of crumbly too, right there. So I'll probably do like electric tape or something. I don't know.
I'll get back to you on how the epoxy works or the whatever I end up using to kind of fill in those
yeah,
cracks.
yeah, because mine's actually worse. I think way worse.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? With this one, it actually, I don't know if we even have that on our cameras, but if you're manually focusing, like there's the green dot in there or whatever, if you're manually focusing, it tells you when you're in focus, even when you're if you're manually focusing and it's green, it means you're in focus and you can take the shot. But I don't even think my fucking camera don't even have no shit like that. You're just manually focusing and checking to see if it's in focus.
Yeah.
There's nothing to tell you.
2 things. One, I still can't find any portraits from. I can find portraits of Ansel Adams, but I don't see any of his portrait work. And also, I said F32. It's the F64 club. So,
Holy moly!
yeah.
Damn. Would you argue that's like being lazy too? Because you're like, fuck it. I don't need to really focus this shit. Like, not really. I mean, I'm just taking pictures, right?
So
I mean, at that point, what are they doing? Just eliminating 2 factors.
In their defense, they're also doing large format photography. So you're talking about like an 8.5 by 11 piece of film. So like they're definitely still focusing, or I mean something even larger than that. They're still focusing. In fact, they might be focusing even more because they have to make sure that everything looks just right. Because I mean, you've got a massive piece of film to make sure that every single bit is properly aligned. And then with large format photography, you can also tilt shift your lenses, because you've got a really long bellows. One side of that is the lens, the other side is the film. You can shift and tilt that lens to make sure that different portions of the photo are all in focus. Negative Feedback had a really cool video about that where he was doing portraits with large format and he was shooting at like f11, which on a large format is super razor thin depth of field. He was able to tilt the lens and put everybody that was in the photo in focus by just tilting the lens just a little bit to move the depth of field with it. So I mean, they're still focusing with those things. Just imagine having to do it over miles.
Right. Yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah, that would be an adventure. I don't think I'm ever gonna. I've seen some large format cameras on the Facebook Marketplace for like $200. I'm like, nah, I can't
Yeah,
do it.
No.
It would be fun, but I can't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's kind of. I want to get where I'm pretty consistent shooting the 35 millimeter, and then I would like to move. Like once I'm happy and comfortable where I'm at there, then move to medium format, and then we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't want to project too far into the future with what the plans are with that, because I mean this is going to take a while, and then who knows how long and how far into medium format I might end up. So we'll see.
Yeah. I would like to just like get my medium format photos in focus. So I think I'll just work on that one for now, so that I can eventually post more medium format content, because it's hard when you miss focus.
Yeah.
It's like a live. If this was like a live video, I'm pretty sure somebody would comment, "Wow, looks like Valentine has nothing to say because he doesn't have a film camera." I'm like, I feel so out of
join
place.
us.
I'm like, I don't even know. I was like, I have no clue what y'all even talking about right now.
We're still
Hey.
talking about photography, just changing the medium.
No, it's different.
They got
Yeah.
me. They got me good.
Autofocus versus manual focus. I mean, like the main thing is that we were talking about, and why it applies, and we brought it into the film, is because you don't really have as many options for all the newfangled autofocus technology that we do these days then, and so it's a little bit more critical to understand what those things are and how to apply them if you're shooting in analog formats. Analog formats.
Alrighty.
Well, with that, I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Deuces.